Hello everyone, I am Ain. I am from Group 8, Thunder. We'll be presenting about capital investment cost, which is subtopic 16.3 in our textbook. First of all, let me introduce my group members, which Alif bin Tami, Kanchana Ravindran, and Muhammad Afiq bin Rosli, and myself, Nurul Ain binti Cik Mamat. So first of all, I will be starting my presentation with the definition of total capital investment, TCI, is defined as a one-time expense for the design, construction, and startup of a new plant or a revamp of an existing plant. Here we can see list of components of total capital investment, TCI. The first two components, which is total bare module cost for fabricated equipment and total bare module cost for process machinery. So what is fabricated equipment and process machinery? Fabricated process equipment is, for example, heat exchanger, vessel, and distillation column. It is usually a custom design according to the pressure vessel code and other design standards. It also available in any size and shape as long as it can be shipped. Fabricated process equipment also a part of the on-site plant, which I will be explaining later. Next, process machinery is, for example, pump, compressor, centrifuge, conveyor, and robot arm. The process machinery is selected from a vendor supply list of standard sizes and often include a driver such as electric motor. Next, process machinery also a part of the on-site plant. So, on-site plant is category under the battery limits, also known as imaginary fence. So what is battery limits and imaginary fence? It is used to separate the processing equipment directly associated with manufacturing process from auxiliary facilities. So there are two limits in the battery limits. For the first one is the inside battery limits, also known as on-site area. There are chemical processing plants inside the limits. Whereas for the outside battery limits, known as off-site facilities, there are only utilities and other services. On the right-hand side, we can see this is the example for typical off-site auxiliary facilities of a plant. So if given the purchase cost of a process unit, known as CP, the install cost is obtained by adding the cost of installation. So how do we find the cost of installation? By using the factor cost method based on the free onboard FOB purchase cost of the process equipment. In each piece of equipment, Guthrie provides factor to estimate the direct cost of materials and labor as well as indirect costs involved in installation procedure. So when these costs are added to the purchase cost, Guthrie calls the result as the bare module cost instead of the install cost. So that's all from my part. My group member, Kanchana, will continue for the presentation. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Kanchana and I'm going to explain the type of cost. There are three types of cost. The first one is a direct materials and labor. The second one is indirect cost and the third one is other cost. Let's look at the direct materials and labor cost. And these costs consist of cost of equipment, cost of material for installation and cost of labor for installation. Cost of equipment or CM is cost of a unit operation. For example, distillation column, heat exchanger, condenser, absorption and flush drums. After that, the cost of material for installation is the material we use during installation. For example, piping, instrument and controllers, concrete for foundation, electrical materials, lightning materials, or steel for structural support. The cost of material installation is very important, especially the cost of piping. After that, the cost of labor for installation or CL. The field labor factor for installation is 0.63. The high degree of instrumentation and control of small equipment lead to larger factor. And this cost also includes the cost of pre-installation assembly. When a equipment cannot be shipped to the plant site in one piece, like compressor, the pre-installation field assembly is required. After that, indirect cost. An indirect cost divided into three, such as CFIT, CO, and CE. CFIT is cost of freight to deliver the equipment to the plant site, including insurance and taxes. While the contractor engineer expenses C is cost of engineering, such as salaries for engineers, designers, and this cost estimated to be 29.6% of CP, while the CFIT is estimated to be 8% of the CP. And the third one is CO, construction overhead CO. And this cost includes the freight benefits for the workers such as health insurance, sick leave, and the salary for the workers, and the costs related to site such as cost of temporary buildings, roads, parking areas, security costs, site cleanups also include in CO, and the cost is estimated to be 57.1% of FOB CP. One of the important factor in indirect cost is per module factor or FPM. The table below shows the FPM according to the fabricated equipment. Example of vertical pressure vessels are distillation, absorption, stripping, and flush drums. When the size of the fabricated equipment is high, the FPM or the bare module factor will be increased. The sum of the cost of all the fabricated equipment is equal to the CPM or cost of process machinery. Other investment cost, and this is the flow of the other investment cost calculation. First we will calculate the CTPM and then CDPI, followed by CTDC and CTPI, and finally the CTCI will be obtained. CTBM is total bare module cost, which consists of these four costs. C spare is especially for liquid pumps, and this is referred to maintenance cost of pump when the equipment is inoperable to prevent any damage like leakage. After that, the C storage, and this is like backup. When one section is down, another section can be used, and the aim is to improve control and intermediate storage between sections of plant. And the third one is a C catalyst is the cost of initial charge of the catalyst, and the last one is a C comp, refer to the cost of computers, software such as alarm and control system. After that, in order to obtain CDPI or direct depreciable investment, we have to add C site, C allocated and C service into CTPM. C site is the cost of site preparation and development, and it is important to gross roots plan. The range is 10 to 20% of CTPM. If exiting inter complex, the range will be 4 to 6% of CTPM. After that, the C allocated is to provide or upgrade off-site utility plants such as electricity, processed water, steam. The important thing is if the electricity is purchased from the vendor, the cost is not included in the capital cost estimated. And the last one is C service or cost of service facility is concept of the cost of the utility lines, control room, laboratories. After that, in order to obtain the TDC or total depreciable capital, contingencies and contracted fee will be added to the CDPI. The contingencies costs are unanticipated costs incurred during the construction of the plant, and the cost is estimated to be 15% of CDPI, while the contracted fee is estimated to be 3% of CDPI. The cost of the contingency will be decreased when a new chemical product is manufactured. Then the total permanent investment will be calculated by adding up the three costs into TDC. C Royal is license fee which apply when a company use product or process patent owned by another company, and this paid annually. The cost range is 1 to 5% of product sales, and it estimated to be 2% of CTTC, while the cost of startup is estimated to be 10% of CTDC. The C startup can be low as 2% when the process is independent on another company operation. If the company operation is dependent on another company operation, the value can be high as 30%. And finally, C land, and this cost is estimated to be 2% of CTDC. Finally, the total capital investment will be obtained by adding working capital fund into CTPI. Working capital funds is important to cover operating costs at early stage. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, so Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. So, my name is Muhammad Afiq. So, I will explain in part 1 for the chapter 16.4, which is the estimation of total capital cost investment, and we can call it TCI. Okay, so there is four methods to estimate the TCI, the total cost investment. And the first is the order of magnitude estimate, study estimation, preliminary estimate, and definitive estimate. Okay. So, in the order of magnitude method, it is useful in determining the new processes. Also, it is used for the low pressure petrochemical plant, and the accuracy is about plus minus 50%. Okay, so in the step one, we establish the production rate of the main product and we calculate the production rate factor, okay, by using 16.5 equation in the textbook. Okay, so this is the equation. FPR equals to main product flow rate, the pound per year over 10 million and to the power of 0.6. So next, order of magnitude. In the step 2, second step, for the order of magnitude method, we calculate the module cost, which is we can call it CM. This is involving the purchasing cost, delivering, and place setting cost. Okay, so we will use equation 16.6 to find CM, the module cost. Okay, in the equation, there are factor of the material Fm, and we can get as follow. Okay, for the carbon steel 1.0, copper 1.2, stainless steel 2.0, nickel alloy 2.5, and so on. Okay, and then in the next step, we must sum the value of the Cm and multiply by the FPI. This is including the piping, instrumentation, and controller cost. And we will get the total bare module investment, and we can call it CTBM. So how do we calculate? We use equation 16.7 in the textbook. So we will use the FPI MS index over 1365 and multiply with the total of the CM, total summation of the CM. So the FPI is the factor depends on whether of the processes of the plant, the type of the processes of the plant is solid handling or solid fluid or fluid. Okay. Next, in the step 4, we obtain the direct permanent investment. We can call it CDPI. And how we want to calculate it, we use equation 16.8. Okay, so we can get this from the textbook. And lastly, we can get the total permanent investment and the total capital investment, okay, by using this equation. So this is the order of magnitude, and we can get the TCI, the total cost investment for the whole processes. Okay, moving on to the study estimation method. Okay, so study estimation is the estimating the capital cost of the chemical plant using the overall factor that multiply estimate of delivered cost of the major item of processes equipment. I can say that this require a process design with a complete mass balance and energy balance as well as the equipment sizing. Okay, so in the step 1, we prepare all the list of the giving the equipment, title, label, size, material of construction, design temperature and design pressure. And then step 2, we list all the costs corresponding to the cost index of the cost data. And then we multiply it by 1.05 to account for delivery of the plant site. Okay, and then we multiply the result by using the length factor. So I can say that this study estimate method, we must refer to the length factor to obtain the total permanent investment. Okay, so here 16.9 and 16.10 is used for calculating the TCI. Okay, by referring the length factor in this table, in the table show. Okay, so I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. So I'm going to proceed with the method 3 of the estimation of the total capital investment, which is called as a preliminary statement. So this is based on the individual factor method of cut 3 and best carried out after the optimal process design, complete mass and energy balance, equipment sizing, decision of material of construction, and then process control configuration developed as in PNID. Then this method involve a 5 step. So for the first step is from the process design, we prepare equipment list giving the equipment title, label, size, material of construction, design temperature and design pressure. So for the second step is using the data in the step 1 with FOB equipment purchase cost data, add to the equipment list the cost, which is the CPB, and the corresponding cost index of the cost data. So in this country method, the FOB purchase cost is a best cost corresponding to a near amphibian design pressure, carbon steel as the material of construction and a base design. So next is for the step 3. For each piece of equipment, determine the bare module cost, which is the CPM, using a bare module factor FBM table uh, from the table below, and then apply a appropriate factor for design, which is FD, pressure design FP, and then factor pressure FP, and material and factor material, which is FM. Then we are going to use this equation, which is the SPBM, as we can see here the equation. Then we are going to proceed with the step 4, which is after we obtain the total bare module cost. So the CTBBM, we are going to summing the bare module cost of the process equipment, and then we are going to calculate the total permanent investment CTPI, which is 1.8. CTPI equal to 1.18 divide multiply with the sum of city PM, seaside, sea building, and sea offset facilities. So this seaside, sea building, and the sea offset facilities have been discussed in the method 1 and 2. Then we add working capital to the calculate the total capital investment, which is the CTCI, and CTCI is equal to CTPI plus with the CWC. So that's all from me. Thank you.